guys, it's Monica from MonicaLeonel.com, and you are watching Monica Today. Today is Monday, but I'm actually going to talk to you about something that happened to me last Monday while I was still in Austin. The story actually starts on Friday when I got off the train at the Amtrak station and decided that I was going to take a little adventure and figure out how to take the local public transportation to get to the hotel. This little adventure took me into the downtown of Austin, and I went to the bus station, and I was trying to get on the bus, but for some reason the bus just wouldn't stop. It was kind of weird. I found out later why, because it had to go around the block and pick me up on the other side of the street. But I didn't really understand that when I was standing at the bus station and trying to get on the bus, and they wouldn't open the doors for me. So what really inspired my adventure on Sunday was this guy who he was a local Austinite, I guess, and he was so nice. He came up to me and he was like, "Oh, let me help you get on this bus." And he talked to the bus driver, and he figured out, where I was supposed to be picked up, and he waited with me until the guy came back all the way around, and he was able to pick me up. And the guy was just really nice for no reason. I asked him why he was helping me, and he was basically just like, yeah, because I am a nice person, and because I just want, I've seen a lot of travelers get a little confused about the bus schedules, and I just wanted to be able to help you. So I thought this was really awesome, and I was kind of amazed by just the energy this guy had. I live in Chicago and I take transportation all the time, and I have to say that Chicagoans are not quite as open as this guy was with me. So the energy of this one guy kind of made me realize, hey, I'm in Austin for the first time, and it's not during South by Southwest, so there's not as many people around, and there are more local people who are out and about doing things. I decided that after the World Building Summit that I needed to take some sort of adventure in the downtown. And I had no plan as to what I was going to do. I had no hotel, nothing booked, no ride, nothing. I was just going to figure it out as I went. So this turned out to be probably my favorite part of the whole entire trip. So on Sunday morning, I packed my bag and checked out of the hotel, and I went downstairs to the World Building Summit. One of the guys there, he had rented a car for the weekend, and he just happened to be driving back to the downtown that same day. I thought for sure that this couldn't possibly be coincidence, and I took it as a good sign that my adventure was really going to happen. We left the summit at about 9 p.m. after the last of us had been talking in the lounge in the hotel, but we kind of finished that up, and Calvin and I were going downtown, and he was like, "Where do you want me to drop you off?" I said, "I don't have a hotel booked, but I know that I'm going to a coffee shop." And he was like, "Okay, what coffee shop?" And I said, "I don't know, let me look it up on my phone." So I didn't actually have an idea of what coffee shop I wanted to go to, but I found one on my phone during the drive, and I ended up going to Halcyon, which is a coffee plus bar lounge situation. It was kind of a combo of everything. At this point, Calvin pretty much thinks I'm crazy. He thinks that this is a terrible idea to leave this, this woman who's traveling by herself at a bar at 9 p.m. on a Sunday night. I convince him to let me go, and I take all my luggage and everything. I had a stack of books even that I was carrying with me, and I walk into the lounge. Halcyon is absolutely amazing. You can immediately feel the energy. It's just absolutely incredible. There's this huge mix of people. There are a bunch of people who are studying. There are also some entrepreneurs working on their laptops. And there are even people having dates and drinking wine together. There are also groups of people who are roasting s'mores at their table. And even some people who are ending the night kind of early and just getting some, snacks after going out to another event. So I buy a cup of tea and I sit down and I start getting to work. As I'm working and sipping my delicious tea, all sorts of people keep coming up to me and just starting conversations with me. It's the oddest thing. They're asking me what I do, they're asking me whether I'm a writer, they're asking me what I'm putting down in my notebook. People are all over the place and even offering to buy me a drink, all sorts of stuff. It's really fun, and it's a really good energy and also a safe energy. It's not like people hitting on me or anything. It's just people being genuine. At some point during the night, this guy comes over and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna play a set for the bar. Do you mind moving tables?" I had no problem with it. He offered to buy me a cup of tea to kind of smooth things over, but I didn't really have a problem with it at all. So this guy starts playing, and he is freaking amazing and just completely different than anything I've ever heard. What he does is he plays flamenco music and he does guitar riffs over it, and it's a really cool and eclectic mix. He comes up to me afterwards and he's talking to me and just thanking me for listening to him. He gives me a hug, and he also, I asked him, well, what's your website? I'd love to buy your music. I had a great time tonight, and I know that your music will really be a great little memento of this kind of like energetic thing that I'm experiencing. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to give you my website. I'm going to give you my number." So he gives me his number, and his whole thing, it wasn't like I know people are going to be like, "Oh, he was hitting on you," but it wasn't that. He was really just being genuine, and his whole point was this idea that, we're all people, and it's a cool thing. Like, we can connect one-on-one. It's not like he's a musician and I'm like an audience member. He just wanted to just give me access, and he wanted to have that real connection with me. So I text him, and I text him my name and ask him, where's your website? He sends me all the links, and he does have a CD out, and he's on Amazon, so I go ahead and buy his music. Okay, so now it's 2 a.m. and the bar is closing. I am so high on all this energy that's circulating back and forth in this bar that there's like no way I'm gonna go to sleep tonight. So my plan was to get a hotel afterwards and sleep there and then go to the Amtrak in the morning. But I decided that it's just not time to go to bed, and I'm just gonna keep on going with this adventure. So I pack up all my things again, and I walk to this diner called 24 Diner. It's really close to the Amtrak station and only a couple blocks away from the coffee bar that I'm at. The diner, again, has great energy. There's lots of people coming in who have been out all night, and this is kind of the last stop before they go home. The waiter is super nice. I ask him if he minds if I sit there and work for a little bit. He says he has no problem with it, but there are no outlets, so I can't charge any of my electronic devices. I shrug my shoulders and I'm like, okay, no problem. I break out my notebook and I start going through my to-do list and drafting everything that I need to write by hand instead, and it's actually a really magical experience. I order tea again, and the waiter, he's refilling my tea all night, so he's super nice, and I gave him a great tip, and I also ordered food. I just want to be clear that I wasn't just camping out here. Again, people are just coming up to me and talking to me, asking me what I'm up to, asking me where I'm headed to. And basically, I end up staying there for the rest of the night. And around like 7 a.m., I pack up all my things again, and I head on over to the Amtrak station and set everything down and almost immediately fall asleep. So in all of this, I guess my point is that Austin was an incredible experience. It's just a creative city, and there's such great energy there. I told Patrick about everything that I had experienced there, and I told him that I really wanted to go back next spring and just hang out there with him maybe for like a week or so and just explore the downtown a little bit more and get to know the city a bit better. As I think about creative energy more and more, it really occurred to me that there's a lot of creative energy even in online spaces. For a while, I was trying to combine my some of my creative posts and stuff that I'm doing on the creative side about my creative process with content that is for fiction readers and that is more aimed at talking about my books. I was trying to combine these two things on monicaleonel.com, and it hasn't been working. It kind of never worked, and I've known it for a while. So as a result of this experience and everything else that I've been thinking about with the idea of creative energy, I've decided to move all the stuff about artistry and about my creative processes over to a new site called Prose on Fire. The site is at proseonfire.com, and it's going to be essentially a legacy project. It's going to be this idea that I'm just going to write about the things that I'm learning, both through this vlog, through my fiction writing, through any other creative things that I do in the coming years. And I want to post on this blog regularly, and the goal is that I'm going to start out with 100 posts before the end of the year, and that starting in 2015 I'll post every Thursday on a regular schedule. With these coming up 100 posts, the idea here is just to kind of do like a mind dump. Like, I have so many things that I want to talk about, both on the creative side, about marketing, about this vlog series, just all sorts of things that I'm learning that I want to get out there and put it out there in the world. The blog is not really going to have a topic aside from, the idea of creativity, mainly because 10 years from now I want to be still writing this blog. I definitely, I admire bloggers like Seth Godin and like Tim Ferriss, who they're building something bigger, and they're building something that has that longevity and that is very evergreen. The other thing I realized during this whole process is that blogging nonfiction specifically feels very stale to me, and I never really put that together. I love words when it comes to novels and when it comes to fiction, because you can say so much with words. You can paint these gorgeous pictures, and I love that. But when it comes to nonfiction, it's just not quite the same. It just doesn't feel as good as fiction writing does. So the other thing I want to do with proseonfire.com is I want to experiment a little bit more with other mediums. Obviously, this vlog series is part of that, but as far as the blog posts go, I want to do a lot more visual stuff and create, diagrams and infographics rather than writing out blog posts. So anyway, I'm really excited about this new direction, obviously, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about creative energy because I think that place is so important in your creative process. If you're struggling to create something and you're just kind of in a funk, maybe just get out of your zone and go do something else, have a little adventure, find a way to re-inspire yourself. One thing that really works for me to re-inspire myself is to just give myself a little bit of a challenge. I think that's what this idea of doing more visuals is going to do for me. It's going to be such a challenge to share information in a different format, and it'll just be something that I don't do very often. So I think it's going to really help me drive forward and get these ideas that have been kind of stuck inside me for a long time, get them out into the world and get them actually, in the hands of people that can use them and that can learn from them. So if you come back tomorrow, I'm going to be answering any questions that you have about really anything, especially stuff that you've left in the comments of the past 4 videos. So I will see you again tomorrow, and in the meantime, find your creative energy and go make something.